1971. Stanford, California. Summer heat. Freedom in the air. Students, laughter, music, protests. And under one of the world's most respected universities, a basement. Concrete walls. A few cameras. A plan that was supposed to last 2 weeks, but it barely made it to day 6. This is the true story of how a psychological study turned into a nightmare, of how ordinary people became prisoners and monsters. The idea came from a man named Philip Zimbardo, a psychology professor at Stanford University. He wanted to understand one thing. What makes people cruel? Is evil something we're born with? Or does it grow when we're given power over others? To find out, he placed an ad in the local paper. Volunteers wanted for a psychological experiment. $15 per day. 75 people applied. 24 were chosen. Healthy, intelligent, just normal college students. Half would play prisoners. Half would play guards, and the basement of the psychology department was transformed into a real-looking prison. Cells, bars, security cameras, even an isolation chamber. No one knew what was coming. The prisoners were taken from their homes by real police officers, handcuffed, read their rights, driven in patrol cars through the city. Neighbors watched from their windows, believing a crime had been committed. At the police station, they were fingerprinted, photographed, then blindfolded and taken to Stanford, down into the basement. There they were stripped naked, sprayed with disinfectant, given plain uniforms and a chain around one ankle, a reminder of who they were now. They had no names anymore, only numbers. One was prisoner 8612, another prisoner 819. The guards were given khaki uniforms, mirrored sunglasses, and wooden batons. Zimbardo told them only one thing. You are in charge. Keep order, but no physical violence. That single rule was the only line they couldn't cross. At first, it all seemed harmless, a bit of role-playing for science. But uniforms change people. When your face is hidden behind dark glasses, you stop seeing others as equals. By the second day, everything began to shift. The prisoners rebelled. They blocked their cell doors, shouted, refused orders. The guards retaliated fast. They tore apart the beds, took away their clothes, forced them to stand naked for hours. They made them do push-ups, clean toilets by hand, and chant numbers until they broke. The laughter in the room was real, but it wasn't coming from the prisoners. One guard later said, "I wanted to see how far I could go, and nobody stopped me." Within 48 hours, the first breakdown happened. Prisoner 8612 started screaming uncontrollably. He begged to leave. Zimbardo thought he was acting, part of the game. But it wasn't a game anymore. The guards became more aggressive, the prisoners more passive. They spoke in whispers. They followed orders without thinking. Some even started siding with the guards, turning on each other. Zimbardo watched and wrote notes. He'd stopped being the scientist. He'd become the warden. By the 5th day, the basement had turned into hell. Guards invented new punishments: isolation, sleep deprivation, endless roll calls. One forced prisoners to empty their own toilet buckets with bare hands. Another made them simulate acts of humiliation. Then, a woman named Christina Maslach, a young psychologist, came to visit. She saw the basement, the fear, the blank stares, and she said one sentence that broke the spell. "What you're doing here is wrong." That night, Zimbardo ended the experiment. After 6 days. 6 days, that's all it took for students to turn into abusers and victims. No weapons, no orders, just power and permission. The experiment was never repeated. But what it revealed still echoes today. Power changes people. Not in years, in days. And maybe the scariest thing about the Stanford Prison Experiment isn't what those students did, but how easily it could happen again. The Stanford Prison Experiment didn't end when the doors closed. Its echo reached far beyond that basement, into classrooms, courtrooms, and military trials around the world. For decades, it's been used to explain how power corrupts, how obedience can silence morality, and how cruelty can grow from routine. But the most disturbing part is that nothing about it was unique. The same pattern repeats anywhere authority goes unchecked. In prisons, offices, armies, even families. Zimbardo later said the experiment was like a mirror. It didn't create evil, it revealed it. It showed how easily normal people can lose themselves, how fragile morality really is, and how identity can bend under pressure. The guards didn't wake up wanting to be cruel. The prisoners didn't choose to break. They were shaped by the system they were placed in. And once the system took control, no one questioned it. That's the real lesson. Evil isn't born, it's built. It hides behind rules, uniforms, and authority. It grows quietly until it feels normal. The Stanford Prison Experiment wasn't just about a few students in 1971. It was about all of us, and the thin line between control and compassion, between order and oppression, between who we think we are and who we could become. So when you think about that basement, don't just ask what they did. Ask yourself one question. If you were there, which side of the door would you stand on?